Good morning, year threes. I hope you're well and safe. And we're lucky we are really, really close to the weekend because this will be your last lesson in maths from me for this week since it's Friday. And you will have Miss Raza back with your maths lessons from next week. Okay. And I really hope you've enjoyed all of my maths lessons for this week. And from yesterday's lesson, I know it was a slightly tricky lesson. So today will be a slightly easier one. It's just a little catch up from yesterday's lesson, and it will be like a little recap for you for today, which will make your Friday slightly easier. Okay, so I always remind you all, these lessons are for Mrs. Raza's group, which is your Jade, Amber, and Indigo group, and the rest of you need to carry on with your year three lessons with Mrs. Riot. Okay, thank you to all those of you who have been sending in your lessons, and all of your work, and we hope that you will be sending us more of your work and keep sending in all of that brilliant learning that you do, not only in maths, but in all your other subjects, and make sure you take those little bits of breaks as well. Okay, so let's start our lesson. And for today in your maths lesson, it is to convert the 12-hour time to your 24-hour time. It is just similar to your yesterday's lesson. All we're doing is I will be giving you your 12-hour time and you need to convert it into your 24-hour time. Okay, so make sure you have that piece of pencil, that piece of paper and your pencil ready, and your data's on there for you with your LI is to convert the 12-hour time to your 24-hour time. Okay, and some of the keywords is you have done this whole week is 12-hour clock, your 24-hour clock, AM, PM, hours, minutes, and o'clock. Okay, so just a recap of what a 12-hour clock is to complete a whole day, you need to pass the time 2 times up to 12 in order to make it a day. In your 12-hour clock, you have to use AM or PM to represent either morning for AM and PM, which means afternoon or evening. Okay? And your 12-hour clock only goes in numbers up to 12, even up to 12 in your digital clock as well. Okay? And your 24-hour clock goes up from 0 up to 23 if you have a look on the outside of this clock over here. Okay, and it's always shown in 4 digits like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. The same with your 12-hour and your 24-hour clock. The hours come first and then followed by a colon, which are these 2 dots, and then you have your minutes on this side. Okay, and in your 12-hour clock you use AM and PM, but in your 24-hour clock you do not use AM and PM. Okay, because your 24-hour clock is always usually in the evening, okay, or afternoon. Right, converting from 3 p.m. to 24-hour clock. Okay, so now I've given you the time over here, which is your 12-hour clock. Your 12 hours over here is 3 p.m. If you had to convert it to a 24-hour clock, you have to look on the outside, okay, and you know that on your digital time, if you just had to write it on an analog clock, it would be 3 o'clock. But now we're doing it on a digital form in the form of numbers, so you have to have 24-hour clock, which is 4 digits, hours on this side, and minutes on this side. Okay, so your 3 in 24 hours will be 15, which is why it's 15 hours and 0 minutes. Okay, next one, to convert your 12-hour clock into your 24-hour clock. So your 12-hour clock shows 1:30. Okay, and how would you convert it into your 24-hour clock? Okay, so I'm sure I have this example over here. So this is your 12-hour clock, which is 1:30. And how would you convert it into your 24-hour clock? So we do our hours first. Okay, so let me do that one for you. Okay, so we know that in hours over here, which is your 12-hour clock, it is 1:30. So like I said, our minutes always the same. Our minutes don't change for our 12 hours and 24-hour clock. They remain the same. But our hour hand, which is on the 1, which is 1:30, will change to 13, which means your 24-hour clock will be 13 over here. Okay, there we go. So I've done the first one for you, and this is a very simple lesson. So your next one will be, there we go. That is your 12-hour clock, which is 6:45, and your minute hand is on the 9, which means if you count your minutes from 5, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. So that means your minute hand is 45, which is 45 minutes, and you need to convert that into your 24-hour clock. Now, one clue I'm going to give you is that your minutes don't change. So you can always write your minutes first, because your minutes don't change. And if it was a 12-hour clock and it was 6, what would your 24-hour clock be? Okay, so make sure you have that piece of paper and your pen ready to answer. Okay, pause the video and make sure you write your answer. Next one, it shows 4:55 in your 12-hour clock, and you need to convert it into your 24-hour clock. Next one, 7:40, and you need to convert it into your 24-hour clock. And that's all you have up to there. But what I would like you to do is you need to make up 2 times on your piece of paper, any 2 times in the 12-hour clock, okay? And you need to write your times in a 12-hour and convert it into 24-hour clock. So write 2 different times with 12 hours, and those times you will convert into 24-hour clocks. Okay, so you've got these slides here for you to complete on your piece of paper, and an additional is I need you to write 2 12-hour clocks or times and convert them into 24 hours. Okay, and yes, of course, always send in your work to year3@grange.harrow.sch.uk. Right, that was a very short lesson, so you would have a lovely weekend, and I will see you with my phonics and grammar lessons from next week. However, Miss Raza will be back with your maths lessons from next week. Okay, I hope you enjoyed all of my lessons from Monday, all of my maths lessons. Take care and have a good weekend. Bye!